I was contemplating whether to make this video or not, but I talk about being a real and authentic all the time, and so I have to be honest with you guys. But recently I've just been feeling more downs than ups. I've been feeling and I didn't want to talk about this because there's this stigma that, if you're a coach or if you're in the wellness, that you know how to deal with this and you have all the answers. And it's not true. I don't have all the answers. Those of you that don't know a little bit about me, my background when I was really young, probably up till my teens and even continuing on, I never went to the doctors for it. I never got diagnosed, but I know that I was very depressed. And due to, my family situation and just like all the arguments and fights, I, would go into my room and I could cry for hours. I was just very sad. And at times I didn't want to continue. And because I've been depressed before, I know how I show up when I'm happy, positive, in my best self versus when I'm depressed, because I have lived those two realities on a very intense level. And so I remember when I was, depressed, I didn't want to clean. I didn't eat. A lot of my depression also kind of intertwined with my eating habits. So I wanted to control what I would eat to not even like a health level. I would just live on Nutella. That's a whole other addiction that I had. I had so much. Oh my God. Now that I think about it, I'm like, shit, I really was not stable. I was not safe, secure. I had it really difficult. And I'm sure most of us, have had it difficult as well. But I'm not going to dilute, or I'm not going to say my experience wasn't as bad because somebody else got something else worse happened to them, right? Like that was my experience. I felt really down and sad. And I realized these last couple of months, I've just been feeling not like my best self. I've not been laughing as much. I've just not been enjoying my life. And there's so many different reasons for that. But one of the big ones is choosing the life of being an entrepreneur is not as glamorous and exciting as people think it is. It is one of the most difficult roads, the paths to choose. And I myself I wouldn't change a goddamn thing about my experience because it is my path and I've made those decisions and I made a lot of mistakes. But it is my experience and I'm glad it's happened the way it has. But I realized that this path is not for the weak. Because I struggled with my mindset for so long when I was young, now I'm going through, and then by the way, when you go through depression, when you get out of it, it's not like, okay, I'll never ever get into that pattern again. No, there's times where I feel like these past couple of months I have been kind of getting back into it and I've noticed some things about myself and it's not that great. It's not even that it's not that great. It's just, it's not my best self and I just know it. And I have to be honest with myself. I have to be honest with you guys because you guys watch my videos. And one thing that I did not want to do is just make videos and just give out content because I know the information. I know what I want to say out there. But I'm like, if I'm not going to truly live it, I don't want to sit here and give advice and say, hey, wake up at 5 a.m. and wake up and do this and go do that, which I probably will do eventually. But it's like right now, it's not happening for me. And I'm going through a bit of a phase. And I feel like recently I've been kind of getting out of it, which is great. But I do want to talk about the downsides. If you are prone to it, it's really important to be aware of your behaviors and your patterns because something could trigger it. And for me, one of the things that was triggering it, is kind of being an entrepreneur, is the fact that you face rejection, you face people saying some crap about you, the comment section, or actually that doesn't really faze me for whatever reason. It doesn't bother me. But it's more to do with the business aspect of it, having a stable income. And when I first got into this business, I really thought it was so easy, and it was like, just make money and just get that client and it's boom, bam, it's so simple. But no, it's not. And I feel like when I first got into it, I was almost sold a bit of a lie that it's like, it's so simple and yay, just laugh and have fun. And it's like, no, it's like, it's fucking work. And it's not even work, but it's like your mind, your mindset needs to be so freaking strong to not even be able to handle rejection, but also be okay, be whole for your family. Because I realize, if I'm just by myself, I'm just affecting me. But when I have a child and a family, it's like I'm affecting her and my energy is rubbing off on her. And so that's another bit of a mind fuck where you're like, I want to, do all these things so I can buy our house, and I want to have that abundant lifestyle that all of us do, but it comes with a freaking cost. It comes with a price. And I heard Tiana Taylor, that's where I'm getting it from, is like I literally heard her saying like freedom has a cost. And I was like, oh my God, I never thought about it that way. You just think, oh, I want to be free. I want abundance. I want this. I want that. But there is a price that you have to pay. And that blew my mind. And one of the things that I recently have been struggling on, and I'm going to be again honest with you, men and women, if you're watching, is my morning routine. That's really, okay. When I was in my most healthiest at my top, my morning routine was just flawless. I would wake up at 4 a.m. I would sleep at 9 p.m. Like I had a very good, stable routine. But when you have a child, and I have my daughter 1 week with me, 1 week with her father, it really does take a toll, especially if you're trying to be consistent. And I'm now kind of waking up to, oh my God, my routine is really messed up. Like I really need to figure out a way. And first I was like, okay, well, I like to go to the gym at the very start of the morning, but I can't one of the weeks, right? Because I'm with my daughter. And again, this is not to blame anybody. It's just like, this is what's happening. This is the circumstance. And now I don't see it as a problem. I see it as a challenge. How can I create a stable, a consistent routine, even though my weeks are different, right? And so I've actually just come up with a plan of doing a workout at home in the morning, because usually what I would do is I wake up in the morning and I would do a meditation, and I feel like that would put me down I would be very calm, and I would not be motivated to do anything else other than just sit on my couch and relax. So I've kind of changed up some things around, and I bought a alarm clock. It's more of a, it's like a light alarm clock, so it gives you that sunlight, and it's amazing. Anyways, I'm gonna try it out tomorrow for the first time. So the reason I wanted to make this video is to let you guys know that I'm not perfect. I go through my times when I'm like, I feel like shit and I need to wake up. And sometimes, you need to hear people on YouTube, on your friends or whatever it is, to be like, hey, let's do better. Let's make better decisions for yourself. And not to give, this is not about shaming anybody. If you do have a bad routine, it's just to try to be a better version of yourself. That's literally it. Because when you wake up in the morning, your subconscious mind is wide open. That is when you're able to, whatever you say in the morning, that is going to be your belief. And honestly, when the past couple of months, when I woke up, I'm like, oh, I have to wake up. Like, oh my God, this sucks. And I was tired all the time. And I wasn't aware, to be honest, how bad my mindset was getting. And that's how aware you need to be. And that's where journaling also comes in. And I knew that something was off. I knew something was off with me. I made a Instagram video on it. But I had to take my time and let myself be down for a moment. I feel like sometimes, we think being positive and that's the only way. But no, it's like sometimes you just have to be in that state of mind where it's like everything sucks and you just want to feel it. And there's nothing wrong with that. So I let myself go through whatever I needed to feel. And now I feel like I'm back on the up. And I do also, recently I heard, what's his name? I forgot his name. Tim Han. Oh my God, I'm sorry. I'm going to hopefully say it right in my description. He spoke about the law of sustainability. So basically, the way that you sustain your routine or the way that you show up every day in life is the direct result of how you see yourself, your identity. And a lot of the times our identity is based on what our family members have told us about ourselves. It's like, you're just gonna, like my dad used to always say, you're just gonna work in a just gonna be a travel agent. That's what women do. Like they don't have businesses. They're not millionaires or billionaires. This is a life for you. And that has been my programming. And so asking yourself, what has been your programming? Are you living up to what your parents are seeing, the story that they gave you, or are you living up to your own version of what you think life should be and why you're really truly here? So if you're feeling like you're not your best self right now, I want you to know that you're not alone in this. I'm with you. There's millions of other people that are with you that are feeling the same way. And I just want you to know that there is a way out of this. And it's okay to allow yourself to feel the negative emotions, feeling down. I think it's also important to feel that, but also know that there's better days ahead of you. Only if you make a decision to change something about your routine. You don't have to change who you are, but you have to change your behaviors, your routine. It all starts with that. It starts with what you're feeding yourself every single day, not just food, but the TV, the news. And that's one thing I also noticed when I was going through my little phase, is that I would, sleep really late, 11, 12, and then I would wake up I'd put my alarm at 4, but it's like, no, I can't sleep for 5 hours. My body cannot function. And I was abusing my body. It's like, no, that's not the way to go. So my biggest tip is to sit down, use ChatGPT, and figure out a routine that you're going to stick to. Less TV, like literally no phone in the morning. That has to be part of your routine. And my biggest tip, which I heard Tim had, which literally is the best thing I ever heard, is no snoozing. And that was that's one of my toxic traits. Is like, I like to snooze, and then I like to, and what he said about it, which I really love, is that when you snooze, you're waking up to a negative not emotion. What did he say? He said it so well. Waking up and not pressing the snooze button, and you wake up as soon as that alarm goes, your body is up. And so I really hope that you get a journal and you figure out a routine for yourself, because that's one of the reasons why I always go downhill, is when my routine is off. And I really hope that this video can inspire you to be, I feel like I can't hear myself. This video can inspire you to be a better version of yourself. Figure out your routine. That's like literally the number one thing that millionaires, billionaires, successful people, happy people, they all talk about their goddamn routine. So figure out a good routine for yourself. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.